It'll be open on all platforms, social media platforms, everything. It'll be we done bought airplay for it,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So
look for the single "The Teachers," coming
the
up.
teacher.
Nice.
Right.
I'm
Congrats.
trying to keep up with Doc because Doc has all these hats. So I'm adding music producer to my resume and Doc. I'm trying to keep us both in there. I
Yeah.
got to keep up with this,
That's
brother.
awesome.
Yeah, so we making it happen. We're making it happen. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be the new Black Power, Black Empowerment anthem, man. Back when we came up, it was Public Enemy and BDP and all that, Boogie Down, and a lot of those artists back then. So we're trying to get back.
X Clan.
We're trying to hype our people up to build, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man. It's been an exciting run. When we first came up with this concept, we knew that it had a chance to be something special, and the people we have in the lineup coming up, man, it's going to be crazy. But
Absolutely.
a couple of filmmakers, media mogul / activist. It's gonna be that one. I'm really waiting on. We might have to go and hide after that one. But it's let me let everybody know. Let me pay the bills real quick. This episode of The Teachers is brought to you by Epic Realm, where you can build a winning circle through selective community experience. If you're interested, you can join here. The link is in the description box. Don't forget that we're in the middle of a fundraiser for the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage Initiative, where we are building strong Black men by properly socializing young Black males. Now that that's out of the way, we are happy to bring to you, introduce to you, and hopefully set you on a course to a better life, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Miss, I don't want to mispronounce that last name, so you're going to help me with that, Maria?
Go ahead. Leyva.
I had it right. I should have went on and said it. Maria Leyva. But
you in Houston, Doc. There's a whole lot of Latino people there, right?
Oh yeah, I had it right, but you don't want to get up here. And I had a bunch of times to actually get it. It's not like I haven't spoken to her and spoken to you a million times. You've said it a million times, but that's it. But here we are. Maria is from all that I've been able to gather, literally a juicing guru. And it's not by chance that that's the name of her business, the Juicing Gurus.
Correct.
And she has come to this point in some way the same way that I've moved along the lines of holistic medicine. It started with being reared by my great grandparents, where all of the remedies were in the garden. And there was something for everything in the garden. And I literally was in my 40s the first time I went to a hospital. So that had a lot to do with it. And of course, the further I got away from it, the more the need arose to go to the doctor, because you start moving off and away from holistic health. But I'm going to literally pass it on to Doc, because Doc knows her personally and a lot better than I do. And so they not only have an understanding of the nuances of holistic medicine, but he has an understanding of her journey. So I'm going to let them kick off the conversation, and I'm going to slide in where I fit in.
Okay.
All right. So Doc,
right. I want to welcome all the guests. Yeah, I want to welcome all the guests to the Teachers. And Maria is a juicing guru, like Dr. Rick said, who practices holistic health and wellness through juicing of organic fruits and vegetables and herbs. I hope I'm categorizing that right. And Maria and I met in 2019 when I first moved to South Florida. And at that time, I had been on a journey starting in 2018. Maria knows my story. I was 260 pounds, Dr. Rick. I told you the story. High blood pressure. Obviously that affects heart disease and all of that kind of stuff. I couldn't really run that far or walk upstairs without getting tired. So at the time when I met Maria, it was about in August of 2019. We both frequented the YMCA down here in Pembroke Pines area. And, I looked and I said, oh, well, you see a juicing stand, you just think it's just juice and all of that. I'll go get some juice and help the sister out, right? Patronize the sister. So, but she educated me because, I'm thinking like, okay, how deep can this juicing thing be? But so I was looking to knock off I was maybe about 225 at that time. I had came from 260 down to 225. So I was still trying to get that last 15 or 20 pounds off, which was becoming difficult because your body begins to start resisting the exercise and the food that you're given. It starts, trying to get on to that. Right. He educated me about that.
It becomes a little bit more difficult. Mm-hmm.
And so she let me know that, what she did was just a lot more than just, making some juice, where she actually sat down with me and asked me what were my underlying conditions. And she actually made my own personalized juice based on the issues, the health issues that I was having. So she was treating the issues and the symptoms, and so that's basically what she was doing. So anyway, the first question I guess I would ask Maria is, what influenced you to go into holistic health? Because you and I had some conversations. I know that you spoke about living and training in the East and being educated in Eastern holistic medicine.
Yes, well, that's an awesome question, but I first want to thank you both for allowing me to be part of this amazing show. And it's funny because guru means teacher. That's what guru means. When you're a guru, you teach. And so you're both gurus also. Okay?
You're the teacher too.
Yes, exactly. So that's what motivated me. I wanted to be able to learn another alternative, a healthier alternative. I tell people all the time, I work with God's pharmacy, nature's pharmacy. That's who I work with, which is older than anything out there. So I said, well, if I want to learn, and I started looking into it, I do what is called Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic medicine is a type or one of the oldest holistic medicines that have been around. It's 3,000 years old. Okay. And the word Ayurvedic itself caught my attention because it comes from the dead language, the Sanskrit in India, which Ayu means life and Vedic means science or knowledge. So I said, okay, this is what I want, to give life, to share knowledge, and to see how I can be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Okay. And I went on a quest. It was more of a spiritual growth for myself. And it's like anything else. We never know where we're going to turn out or where the universe, as I say, has in store for us. A Latina from South Florida, born and raised in South Florida, from a very Latin background here, ends up in Varanasi, India, which is close to the Ganges, okay, of all places. My family was, you're going where? To do what? India? Huh? Okay. And my goal was to stay in what they call an ashram. An ashram is a center for spirituality, a place where you can go inward to find the answers. Because sometimes we go outside to find the answers, and that's not where the answers lie. Okay? They lie within ourselves. So as life would have it, I ended up in an ashram where the guru or the teacher that who built this ashram, who put it together, is a very well-known in India and in other parts of the world Ayurvedic doctor. And I was privy to stay there. What turned out to be a few months ended up, between the time I would go and stay and come back, ended up 4 years of studies under his, yeah. And Ayurvedic medicine, because it is an actual medical field that is very recognized in many countries, obviously in India, has a lot more than just the science of the herbs and the roots and the seeds to produce medicine. When you consult with a physician, an Ayurvedic physician, he will sit with you, and the consultation could take up to 2 hours at a time, because their concept is your body will speak for you. Your body will let you know what's going wrong, or the things, if you know how to read the signs. Your eyes will tell you how your liver is doing. You see, your tongue will tell you how your digestional tract is doing, how your acidic levels perform in your body. If your body is acidic, even the smell on the palms of your hands, they smell the palms of your hands. If there's an acidic smell to it, it's already telling them, oh, something, the levels are off in this particular body. Okay? So they first analyze you, and yes, of course, they can do lab work, and they have all the same ways of medicine that we have here in the Western world, but they believe that first they need to see what's going on. What is the body saying? And then from there, they determine, okay, we need to alkaline this body, okay? Because an acidic body, my dear, will promote any illness. It feeds any illness, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, feeds off of acidity. When we have an alkaline body, our chances are greater to fight that illness. Now, we don't want to make it completely alkaline. You have to have some balance.
Right.
Okay. You have to have balance. When I have people, such as when Michael came to me, let's say, or someone that comes to me, the first thing I say, let's test, let's see how you are. And I usually understand if the body's acidic by the way they eat. Food is what determines your acidity levels. A lot of people, especially on our side of the world, we love meat. They are carnivores. And oh, a good steak, you know, we put it on the grill and we just go to town. And that's okay if you do it within balance, you know. But I find that when I have a carnivore, someone that eats meat constantly, all the time, fried meat, however he prepares it, chances are their body's going to be acidic. And there are tests. There's a test you can order online. They're like little strips. They sell it at pharmacies, like little strips, like when you're checking your pool to see if the pH balance. Same concept. So you would check it early in the morning with the urine from the first of the morning, and that will tell you, you'll see, it'll, by color, it'll tell you where you are. And then we can, that's just a small way of me to determine how your body is reacting at that point. So all that I've and much more, I was very blessed to learn in Varanasi, in Agra, in India. So, and it's all just I guess my goal and my passion is to just help and educate, because ignorance is not bliss.
Right. A lot of the people who will hear this will hear a lot of the principles of Ayurvedic medicine, which was at the basis of what Dr. Sebi taught in his principles of health, which was the importance of alkaline. And another thing that he often pointed out was the fact that everything can be traced back to an issue of overproduction of mucus.
Mucus, yes.
Which is an inflammatory response. And so being alkaline helps you manage inflammation. And what we find is all of these illnesses come from some form of inflammatory response. And so it's dealing with those things. So it's interesting that when you start going back to the basics, it all comes back and it starts going back to a more Eastern. When you start saying Eastern, the first thing that comes to me when I think of Eastern, I think of ancient. I think that you go back in time because you're talking about civilizations that existed before we were even on a nation or we were even occupied on a grand scale. These things were happening. And so I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people hear that and say, man, Dr. Sebi's been saying, Dr. Sebi said that for years. Yes. And talking about someone that was an autodidact, he literally taught himself all of that by studying.
Yes, he was self-taught, he researched, he himself was his own experiment, if you can say it, his own way, and based on his background, because he was a very sick man. Based on his experience with holistic, with nature, is when he said, okay, I gotta get on board with this. And he was amazing. He was an amazing, he was another true guru, definitely another true guru.
And it's funny that most people won't even acknowledge, or most people don't realize it. But he was around for a long time. I mean, Dr. Sebi was doing this back in the 80s, but he was not that known until another Latino, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who was visiting on a regular basis, started to big up him. And I don't want to get too off on the radical side, but not too shortly after she started big upping him, she had the accident in Honduras.
Yes.
Where she lost her life. And but she brought him mainstream in America.
Exactly. People started asking, who is this and what is this about, and opening up. And he'd been around forever, but just like Sebi, there's been many good holistic. Back in the 1920s, you had Dr. Max Gerson. Mm-hmm. Okay, his daughter started the Gerson Institute. Okay, he was someone that basically, based on his juicing techniques, the way he blended things, because that's something we'll touch base on, it helped a lot of people conquer diabetes. And he had testimony after testimony after testimony of how he helped people literally beat diabetes, which is what we're told no one can beat. It's once you have it, you have it, you know? And the thing is that these were amazing, amazing people. I'm sorry. Hello? Yes. Yeah. Froze up there for a minute. So the subject matter of, holistic. When people hear the word holistic, they get a little lost, I think. They look at me and they go, Maria, okay, so you work with holistic medicine. What exactly is it that you're doing? Okay? And it's not complicated. It's being able to understand not only what the person needs at that moment, obviously, whether they're having inflammation issues or they're having issues with acidity or other underlying issues that might be causing. But it's being able to take their symptoms and put them in a blend that will work for them. And when I say that, it's because people think that juicing is, okay, I'm going to throw a cucumber in and I'm going to put an apple and then I'm going to throw some, blueberries, that's good. And they make these concoctions. When they tell me, I'm excited about the fact that they're taking on the juicing, but I'm not so happy with how the blends are. Because all fruits, all vegetables, and Sebi used to say it, all roots, all seeds are not friends. It's like alchemy. It's like I'm an alchemist. You cannot put everything together expecting them to blend well or have good results. It's medicine. Even though it's a leaf, even though it's a plant, even though it's a root, it is truly medicine. So you have to research and you have to have a little knowledge to understand what you're putting in your body, what these blends are going to do. Because sometimes people will make some blends that I'm like, and then they'll come to me and say, oh my gosh, and I'm so bloated. I don't know why I put this and this together. And now I'm so bloated. I'm so, I couldn't leave the bathroom all day. And I'm like, really? I'm surprised you didn't explode because you built a time bomb in your kitchen.
Right. That brings to mind a personal experience. Like I said, a person that I've consulted a lot that's in the homeopathic, naturopathic, Ayurvedic area, a guy by the name of Dr. Joseph Mercola. He's been doing it for years. He was actually put on the president's list of #1 enemies and misinformants when all this stuff was out. He was the #1 enemy because of what he's been doing. And he talks a lot, but I'm the kind of person like when I don't know if Mike told you, but I had 5 heart attacks 2 years ago within a week.
Okay.
And so, I have a cardiologist I have to go see. And so they'll start saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Well, and you have to take this for the rest of your life, which is basically an anticoagulant because of the stent. And and do all this. So then, one of the things I know that I need to do is I'm looking for something that I can create vasodilation. You know what I'm trying to say? To open up and make the arteries more flexible. There's natural
for the blood to flow. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm looking for that. Now, a great thing is obviously you want nitric oxide is real good at that, and probably the most potent plant out there is arugula when it comes to creating the ability to produce nitric oxide. The problem is now if you just go by that and say, okay, I need nitric oxide, I'm gonna go put arugula. Arugula also is very strong at being a coagulant, so it will cause the blood to coagulate, and that's exactly what you don't want. So
exactly,
you have to be careful because you're thinking, okay, yeah, it creates the ability to vasculate, but it's also going to cause your blood to have a tendency to want to create clots. And so that's exactly what you don't want. So while arugula sounds great, it wouldn't work for me.
It wouldn't. And this is why when I first met Michael, that he was sharing his experience with me and he thought, oh, I'll help a sister out. Like he said, much appreciated. I'm going to go get me some juice because I'm hot, sweaty, and thirsty. And I guess he saw me as, like many other businesses that just promote the juicing as something other than medicine. Let's just put it that way. As he started speaking to me and I started asking questions, I guess his mind shifted and went, wait a minute. This isn't common because I've never had this type of conversation at a juice bar.
Right.
Okay. The reason why, and again, I have a juicing bar. I can make all sorts of yummy, nice little juices. If you ask me for banana, strawberry, pineapple, I can do that for you. Not an issue. But my real objective is to bring health, to help and bring it through nature. So like you just mentioned, arugula. Yes, it's wonderful, but you are correct. It's going to have a bad side effect in your case. So if I am someone you come to and we're having this type of one-on-one conversation, I'm going to need to find out a little bit about your medical history, how your eating habits are. Very important. I need to know how you're sleeping. Very important. A lot of people don't understand the importance of a restful sleep. They'll go to sleep at night, they're not resting. They wake up in the morning more tired than they went to bed. So right there, I understand I have someone with a very stressful system, very busy mind, there are things that I can apply in the juice, which will mix well with other components to also create a rest for you, because that's important. It's mind, body, and spirit. We have to get it all aligned. I will also ask questions that about your bowel movements, things such as that, because that gives me an idea of how your system is reacting. And also heart disease, high blood pressure. If I have somebody with a heart disease, I would not do an arugula. But there is something, because I have many people. In fact, just yesterday, I was doing a consultation with someone who has a father who had a severe, massive heart attack. Gentleman is currently hospitalized, and he's not eating. He's complaining of lack of energy right now because of everything he's going through. I would never put arugula in his juice. It's just not something I would do. But there are other things that I am putting in the juice that will help eliminate blockage. I will put things to help the body circulation, blood flow. Also, things that will help oxygen levels in the blood. Very important. So that the heart can function without stress to it.
Right.
And nature has all these things. We just have to know how to blend. You see? How to blend. And that's when people come to me and I sit and I start discussing these things. They're like, and I get all sorts of questions. Everything from heart disease, which is, you know, cancer, obviously, and things like alopecia. People that are losing their hair, and they're like, do you have something for that? Oh yeah, we got, Mother Nature got something for that. No, but see, you can rock that, Michael. You're rocking that.
Yeah, we both go that way. So
you're both rocking that.
Okay.
You cannot, I don't think you could help me.
Yeah, it's good past time with this. It's a gone done deal.
You're
But we
both
go
rocking that.
It
But
goes on the
I have
sides and the
people.
back, though.
No, but see, that is a look. That is a definitely good look. But alopecia happens to people at any age, men and women, just so you'll know. And it's usually the main cause of that is stress. That's what they're told. They'll go to see a professional, which I'm all for that. I'm not anti going to see your doctor. The way I see it is what I do and what your doctor is doing for you can complement each other. You see, can complement each other in many ways. But the options that are given sometimes don't leave you with a lot of choice.
right.
When you go and let's say for alopecia, they give you, and this is well known, they'll give you a topical to put on to stop, hopefully, or steroid treatments to promote the follicle. And then they say it is stress related. Okay, it could be. But it could also be an autoimmune deficiency disorder, where your autoimmune system doesn't recognize that hair follicle is part of that body. It's normal what it's doing, growing, and it goes and it attacks it, because that's what the immune system does. When it sees a foreign enemy, someone that because it sees it as an enemy, it doesn't recognize it. It's like thrown off and it attacks it. So alopecia, you start losing patches of hair. You know, you don't go completely bald. Some do, but for the most part. So when I have someone, and I'm using this as an example, come to me and say, I've tried this, I've tried that. I don't go just on a topical way, and I understand there could be some stress factors, but I look at, okay, let's see the immune system. Let me see what I can do to boost the immune system, to help the immune system be healthy so it'll stop attacking your hair follicle. And that's how holistic medicine, when you see a holistic doctor, you will find that they want to go to the root cause, which is something Sebi always said. The root cause. What's the root cause? Inflammation, accumulation of too much mucus in the body, The mucus is being accumulated. Why? Because of what we're eating. We've got to cleanse. I do detoxes for people because that's the first thing I do. Mike knows. Michael's been privy to my detoxing.
I was going to ask you about that later. The detox, man. Oh, wow. And Maria, talk a little bit about detoxing and also a little bit about intermittent fasting, because you know I started doing that a few years ago too. So,
but when we detox our body, you can detox your body via juices. I make my own homemade detox. I make it myself. It's root medicine. It's good root medicine. It's what your grandma used to give you to clean you out, basically.
It cleans you out.
And it works. It works. It'll take the devil out of you.
I'm putting in my order with you. I need mine Monday, okay?
Okay, I got you.
It was a holiday, so you know I didn't eat very good when I was, during the holidays. You tend to overeat a little bit.
Well, being, Latino, my culture, if it moves, we eat it. So basically very carnivore in mentality when I grew up.
Every part of the black beans.
Detoxing is something that's very necessary to make sure you're cleaning. Now, the detox that I make, and Mike knows, is based not only on cleaning your digestive system, your large intestine or your small intestine, it's also for your liver, to detox the liver, which is really important. To detox the kidneys also. It basically your gallbladder, your bladder, it detox all your major filters. Okay, it's like when you take your car for a tune-up, you need to change filters in order for it to work properly. It's the same concept.
Well, sounds like I'm gonna be ordering this detox too.
It helps with inflammation, Dr. Rick. It helps a great deal to lower your inflammation.
So you and I are going to definitely have to have a conversation about the circular, because one of the things that I know that I have problems with since my heart attack is oxygen levels. Not major, but definitely to the point where it used to be no problem to be at 97, 98, and it's consistently now right at about 93, 94. And if you, for anybody who understands, that can make a big difference. And I can tell when it's really not where it is. Like I can go to the gym and I can do sprints, no problem. And then there's this moment where I can get up and walk upstairs and walk back down, and all of a sudden I'm breathing hard.
And your lack of breathing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm in better shape than this. Why is this going on? But I understand that the number one is oxygen levels may be low, and the body may not be processing the oxygen, or the heart may be having problems getting the oxygen through because of circulatory problems that can change over the course of a minute. You can get your arteries to constrict and vacillate and all that different stuff at different times. So those are things that I know I definitely need to work on. And getting
juice for people, I do follow Sebi, I do follow Gerson, I follow a lot of the holistic gurus. Inflammation is my main target. Okay, there are things that will help you, and there are many different things that help you with inflammation. Turmeric, curcumin, wonderful. Everything I use is organic. I don't like to use powders or whatnot. So when I use turmeric, I use real turmeric. So turmeric is one thing. Now, not everybody can consume turmeric. When I have people that are going through kidney failure or kidney disease, turmeric is not something I would use on them. Why? Because it's very hard for the kidney to process. Very hard for the kidney to process. It's wonderful, but not good for a kidney issue. So you'll say, okay, well, if you don't use that, what would you use? There's so many things. Moringa. A lot of people, I tell them about moringa. Moringa is a plant. It grows in the Himalayas. It's starting to catch here on our side of the world. People are starting to understand what moringa is. It has 32 different types of anti-inflammatories. This one leaf, 32 different types of anti-inflammatories. It has 36 different types of antioxidants. More vitamin A than apple, more vitamin C than oranges. It's amazing.
Maria, question.
Yes.
One of the things that separates you from Smoothie King and all the rest of the folks is that you do use everything that is organic. You know, when I was juicing, when I came here in 2019, I was juicing myself. And like Dr. Rick said, you're throwing everything but the kitchen sink in there. And, you know, everything that people say you should be.
Everybody does. Don't feel bad because that's what they think.
And it's powder. So is that even, when you look at supplements, man, I've spent, you know, I told you this, I said before I met you, and we talked about the pros and cons of buying a juicer and trying to do it yourself. And I learned
people hate cleaning it. The main thing is cleaning it.
Yeah, but not only that, it's not even the best thing because you don't know the level of organic supplements that you truly have. You don't know whether they're
exactly, or the mixtures or the blends.
Can you talk about that? Because, you know, to me, I found out it's actually cheaper for me to let a person like you that's professional do it. And I know where the sources of your organic fruits and vegetables are coming from. So there's a give and take if you're going to be buying your supplements online and all of that.
Well, unlike, and I'm not speaking badly about Smoothie King or any of these big juice places, but what happens is I am self-independent. I have my own business. So it's like I pick and choose everything I buy. I go down straight to our farms. We're fortunate because we have wonderful farms in our areas. So I'm able to go there. And I'm a little bit difficult when it comes to things such as that, because sometimes you see organic, you know, and I'm like, okay, how organic is this? I wonder. So I'll go down to a farm, let's say, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm walking around and I'm looking for bees. If I don't see bees buzzing around a place that has your berries and has all this wonderful stuff, because bees are going to be all over that place, and all of a sudden I notice there ain't no bees, it's because there's pesticides. They're either being killed or they just don't want anything to do with this. So they're like my soldiers. When I go to a farm and I start seeing bees, I'm like, okay, yes, they have to have some type of pesticide, but it's not harmful. It's just not harmful to it. So that right there tells me, okay, this place is really organic. I don't use sugars. Sugar is poison to the body as far as I'm concerned. That's the way. It's not good. It brings your immune system way down. So when I juice, I try to use things such as honey, or for those that are vegan, agave. There's other things that I can use to sweeten a particular juice to give it a little bit. And I love honey because it's a natural antibiotic. You know, now when I'm juicing for somebody that has diabetes, there's no honey, there's no agave, because I don't want the fructose to make your glucose go up.
Right.
When and also when I make my gallons, because the way I juice, just so you'll understand and get a notion, once I am able to give you your consultation, I get an idea of where you're at, what I need to start working on. I do it in parts. I make custom juices for you. We start you off with a nice detox to get you clean. Then I do your custom blend based on the herbs or the roots that I need to put in to start addressing issues. And I do it in a gallon, and it has no preservatives. It's 100% natural. It'll last you 5 days, depending on the juice. Some will last longer. It's like having me in your refrigerator, basically. And as far as pricing, I make it affordable so that everyone can be healthy, you know? because sometimes these wonderful juices that are out there, or they claim that they're going to do this and that, are so expensive that not everybody's budget, you know, and yet you'll have 99-cent meals being promoted in different places, which are not good for people. So it's like I have to ask myself, you know, of course I'm a business owner, of course I have to certain responsibilities, but I want to make my products affordable to all. And I've managed to do that by doing what I do, going to the farms myself, buying my produce myself, and being able to put my hands on everything I touch that comes out of my bar. My customers to me become family, and they stay around for the long haul, you know?
You definitely warmed me up. Doc has been talking about you forever, and I don't know why I haven't jumped on before now, but I'm definitely going to be talking to you after this. Real quickly, tell me if I'm wrong. A couple of people have typed in the chat, or you're on social media. I know you're on Instagram at the Juicing Gurus, and you're on YouTube as the Juicing Gurus, right?
Yes, Juicing Gurus with an S, plural.
So she's on Instagram and on YouTube for sure. I know she has a Facebook page as well. So she's definitely out there. You can definitely reach her.
Instagram seems to be everybody's favorite these days. So
Maria,
Instagram me. I will get back to you.
Maria, what is your Facebook page so they know that too? Because we're on.
It's the Juicing Gurus.
Okay.
The Juicing Gurus as well. And I'm located here in South Florida, in the Pembroke Pines area. For those of you that are local, on the west of Pembroke Pines, I have a bar, and I do events. I met Michael because I was juicing for the YMCA prior to what we're going through right now with this virus, you know, or viruses. That's been keeping me quite busy these days. You know, I'm not happy that it's out there, but you know, it's given me an opportunity to help a lot of people become aware of the importance of having a strong immune system.
Maria, hit on that a little bit about what when you have clients come to you and they say, how can I best protect myself against COVID organically, if they want to do that?
Hold on, be very careful. Let's take that to another channel, because YouTube has an interest in this thing that gets me in trouble whenever we talk about that specifically.
Well, she's able to talk about it.
It's now. Like anything, and this is a general answer to your question. Right. You know, no disrespect to anybody's opinion or theory about what's going on. It's very basic. A healthy way of living helps you stay safe against any illness. Exercise, sleep well, eat well. You see, cleanse, take things like we were saying, ginger. This is what I'm doing, guys, as I'm talking to you. This is my morning, my ginger shot. This is a concoction, and I'll even share what's in it. If you look for me on Instagram, say, Maria, can you tell me what you were drinking to boost your immune system? I'll be more than happy. I've been doing this way before COVID, just to stay healthy. We don't want to catch those flu bugs that have always been around, you know? So a healthy immune system is what matters right now, okay? We're seeing airborne things, okay? Whether it's this virus or that virus, the flu or anything else, influenza, whatever it is, a healthy immune system, if you strengthen that soldier, it will go to war for you, it will fight. The minute you start allowing your immune system to drop, you will get sick, and then it's like a spiraling effect, you know? One thing leads to another, And so that's basically I mean, I can go more into it, but that is the root of staying healthy through what we're seeing everybody going through. Kids, the elderly, everyone.
Great point. I want to double back around on that while we're on the immune system and go back to a point you made earlier in the conversation about stress. And a lot of people don't realize the impact that stress has on, number one, the immune system, and also on the body's genetic performance. That stress literally upregulates disease genes that are dormant and will downregulate genes that are designed to perform protective measures. So stress is a major component. And how do you approach that?
Okay. In the holistic community, let's put it that way, there is many things that I use to assist people with stress, depending on the level of stress and the type of stress. If I have somebody that is suffering from your regular day-to-day stress, they're seeing that their sleep patterns interrupted, I can do something like ashwagandha. Like I tell people, ashwagandha, the herb no one can pronounce, but does so much for you. It literally, I can introduce ashwagandha into a juice blend with other herbs. I could be helping you with heart disease, and ashwagandha will not be something that will hurt you, but it will assist you because it'll relax you, okay? Without waking up dopey or feeling, and there is no, you don't get addicted to these things, which is very important. Now, if I have someone with severe panic attacks, someone that has suffered from severe anxiety, because Dr. Rick, you're familiar, I know your background, it starts a spiraling effect, okay? The mind, we don't know how to quiet that mind. Basically, It keeps running constantly, even when we're not.
Right. One thought can trigger a cascade of similar thoughts that can take you.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you go from stress to another level. Okay. When I have people that have gone into another level, and that has, they come to me and they tell me I'm having rashes. I can't breathe all of a sudden. I'm having attacks, panic attacks. I'm like, okay, we're going to calm you down. There's things such as kava root. Kava is a root. It comes from Indonesia. They grow it here in the United States. You can make a kava root tea for this person to take. But again, I'd have to sit with the person, see the underlying issues that they have, health issues, because kava is not for everyone. Okay. There's other things that can be given for relaxation. And there are many roots and seeds, but I always sit with the person to assist. And if it's something light, like our day-to-day stress, and somebody is going through some kind of an issue, whatever it is, we can offer, like I said, something as simple as ashwagandha will help you with that. So the thing is trying to get it under control, not allowing it to get to you, because it will affect all sorts of organs in your body.
That is extremely powerful. Another question that comes to mind, just with a lot of conversations I have with my own client, is are you able to assist females who are entering or in the menopause stage because of the hormonal right?
All day, I get them all day. It's they call it the change of life. So we're all going through that change of life. Okay. And trust me, some of us, and I include myself here, will have it harder than others. But it happens to all ladies. It's just part of life. But yes, on a holistic, on an alternative, a different alternative, there are so many roots, and there's one in particular. My bar is located inside a CrossFit center. My bar is actually in the CrossFit center. So I deal with a lot of people coming in and out. And my ladies that are going through that premenopause and menopause, when they start with the hot flashes, Dr. Rick, that it drives them crazy, because they tell me, Maria, I will set the thermostat at 60, 59. My husband, my kids are walking around with icicles hanging off their nose, and I'm sweating. I'm walking around in my bathing suit. And at night, they feel the heat just emanating. One of the things that I can recommend, and you can research it if you like, because like I tell people, just because I say so doesn't make it so. Please, I like to educate. Go on the sites, Google, and you will see that these things do help. So there was a doctor, a Swedish doctor, that came to the United States many years ago, and he was doing research for people that suffer from chronic arthritis. And one of the issues with people that suffer from chronic arthritis, besides the inflammation, and inflammation causes your internal thermostat to go haywire, okay? And you produce a lot of heat. Right. He found that a small flower that grows in Switzerland, it's referred to as red clover, was helping with the reduction of these hot flashes that he was testing patients with for arthritis. And he said, light bulb goes off. He says, same issue women have when they're menopausal. And now I highly recommend, because it does work. I have great reviews. You can start with red clover. It's a supplement. You take it in the morning, okay, as a supplement. Because yes, I juice, but there's so much more that I can offer to people, such as this knowledge, this rapport that we're doing. There are wonderful supplements, and that's just one component. When I juice for many ladies that are going through this issue, the mood swings, the lack of energy, the water retention, the hot flashes, all that. There are things that I can put together, make it into a nice tasting juice. Let me put that out there, by the way. People think green juices, oh my God, it's going to taste like my backyard. No, I try to make it as pleasant as possible. Michael will text me sometimes and say, what is this? This is delicious. What all is in this? And then he'll give me a list of things he wants me to juice for. I got this, I got that, I did. Can you juice? Right. Can you put a juice together that will help me with everything and anything, including the winning lotto tickets? I'm like, sure, no problem. But yeah, I can definitely help people or ladies with menopause, definitely. And men go through something called andropause.
Right.
By the way. And when I sit with a gentleman that shares certain symptoms that he is seeing more than ever, or he's never seen before, again, I can help them as well. So, yes.
Right. And I think it's important with two men sitting on the panel right now that we acknowledge that everybody talks about the change of life when it comes to women. But when you talk about andropause, most men don't know that's a thing. And we literally start the process of experiencing earlier than women. And it's more gradual. And because we simply start to attribute whatever's happening to age, we don't realize.
And that's not so.
And we don't realize that it's things that you can actually address. Because after you turn 30, the body's ability under normal circumstances to produce testosterone, which has a massive impact on certain health issues. Like once your testosterone levels start to drop, you start talking about issues with your prostate. People don't understand that testosterone and prostate.
I get that all the time. I get that all the time, Dr.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so and all these things start happening. And what a lot of people don't realize, and it was amazing to me when I discovered this information through my research, is how many men will die with prostate cancer, but not from prostate cancer. Because in most instances, it's so slow and non-aggressive that something else normally kills you before it does. But then there's the aggressive form that obviously you got to deal with it immediately. But normally the prostate is the one thing inside of the body that never stops growing. And so you have to understand that. And if you don't know how to manage it, anything that's consistently growing has the ability to have a molecular or genetic problem in cellular reproduction, which can lead to tumors and a bunch of other things. That's a problem.
Correct. Right. It just starts to grow and it becomes worse and worse and worse. Mm-hmm. But that is a good point. They will die with it, but not from it.
Right.
They won't even.
Most don't know
they know something's not right, but they attribute it to other factors than what it could possibly be. Now, are there things that you can, on a holistic level, besides seeing your doctor and getting tested and getting treated? I'm all for that. Again, I'm not anti that, but to work with other medications that you could be on or should be on, holistically, there are many things to help with the prostate. One wonderful, amazing, which if you Google it, Manuka honey, just something as simple as a teaspoon. I also blend different things that you can take in shots in the morning. It also, not only for the prostate, but gentlemen, when they go through their change, they are concerned about virility. Okay? Virility. More than the prostate cancer, more than the stress.
Yep.
Virility. We want to stay strong and mobile. Okay. We have for that too. Lots of things can be taken for that really work. I have a lot of good customers, good male clients that will call me up and say, wow, this stuff really works. And it doesn't affect your heart. It doesn't have side effects to your liver. You see, it's all natural.
Right. And I think, man, I think this is a great conversation. At some point, we would definitely need to have you back. But like I said, definitely you and I are going to be talking because there's a lot of things I want to get set up and done. And we're going to be doing this use time. Definitely need to start that detox ASAP. I need to get this inflammation
definitely out. Start the year 2022.
Right.
Get detox, get cleansed. Start looking for better ways to educate yourself as far as what you should be eating. Because back when I was growing up here, we had the little food pyramid. Remember the food pyramid?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Remember the good old food pyramid? Well, guess what the food pyramid is doing? This. Okay? This. Because they've come back now, not your juicing guru, but the same people that came up with that food pyramid, now they're saying, whoa, avoid it. It's not good for you. All that poultry, all that meat.
Right.
No bueno. You know? So now we have to reinvent ourselves as far as the way that we were taught
to eat.
How to eat for so long.
I mean, it's amazing the habits that we develop. And like, you know, I started this journey 30 years ago as a fitness instructor. I still own the fitness company. Actually, it was back then, it was Stay Fit Fitness and Training. Now it's Master Fitness 21. I don't do any personal training anymore. Now it's mostly program development and things of that nature. But I remember understanding the psychology. But psychology is my base. And so the psychology behind eating. And even back in our childhood days, we are trained to clean our plates.
Yes.
So you got to be very careful of what you put on the plate because your natural instinct is, I don't want to waste food. Mama said that was bad. And in many instances, you could get in big trouble in the house for tossing food. So, you know,
I would, yes.
How many times you sit at the table till you finish your plate? It was literally grilled into your psychology that if it's on the plate, you eat it. And so you got
whatever it is, you better eat it.
And this becomes an even bigger issue for people who eat out a lot because your plate is pre-prepared. You don't get to say, I just want a spoon of this. It comes out the way they give it to everybody else. And you got to literally say, okay. And what I tell people, sometimes you got to look at it and say, okay, can you bring me a second plate? And you take that plate and you say, okay, I'm going to put this and this and this and this. But one of the things that I had to teach my clients, and I'm going to let you talk on this, and then Doc, you can close it out.
All right.
I got to teach my clients because that's what idea and on the surface it makes sense. You know, when you want to lose weight, you want to put your body in what's known as caloric deficit. You want to be burning more calories than you're consuming. And that's the simple message of it. But what you have to also understand is all calories aren't equal. The calories you consume, for instance, a highly nutritional vegetable, for instance, is going to have a lower caloric content than something else, but it's going to have a high nutritional impact. Whereas you can go get Kool-Aid. It's going to have a high caloric content and absolutely no nutritional value. It's empty calories.
Whatsoever.
And the type of food you're consuming is going to have an impact on your digestive tract, on your metabolism, and a bunch of other things. So everything doesn't burn the same. Everything doesn't digest the same. And so it's
the body does not take it in the same. And another thing, and I always tell everyone, everybody's body system mechanism is different. The way my body might process something won't be the same way your body processes it. So that's very important to understand. So when we are all grouped in one category as to what we all should be eating, all we have done is basically cause our computer, our internal computer, to go haywire because we're thinking this is the way we should eat. We need to eat it all, like you said. We need to, but yet all metabolisms are not the same. We don't all burn calories the same way. You see?
And that's important. I do want to put this one question up because I think it's a very important question. It says, but what about all these processed and GMO foods? How do we determine what is natural? Some things are easy to identify, fast foods, obviously. And I'll lead into that. Well, obviously, if you're eating at a fast food restaurant, no good. So first and foremost, stay away from fast food. But when we talk about processed foods, the way I do it to simplify it is if it's outside of its natural state, if it can be kept forever, it's processed. Whether it's in a can,
absolutely,
a box, whether it's in if it doesn't have an expiry date that's within 5 to 7 days, if you don't freeze it, then it's probably processed.
It's processed. It's full of chemicals, preservatives.
Exactly.
My guru used to say, if you want to know that what you're eating is healthy, it has to have color. If it doesn't have color, as in life, and you see it alive, like when you serve a beautiful bowl of fruits, vegetables, and all the spices and herbs, you know that's going to give life to your body. If it's looking gray, chances are
it's not
it
good
ain't all that good. Okay, so
or if it's been artificially colored like rice and a bunch of other things.
We like I said, everything is in balance and it depends on your metabolism.
Right.
Some people need to stay away from starches. Someone that's suffering from diabetes
definitely needs to
shouldn't be eating a plate full of potatoes.
Right.
At 9 o'clock at night. Okay, and then wondering why the next day their blood sugar levels are off the roof.
Right.
You know, we just have to be more conscious. I tell people, junk in, junk out.
Yep.
You're not going to feel the basis of eating and feeding is not to get full to the point you can't even walk. The point of eating and feeding is nutrition, where your body,
Right.
okay, is fed, your system is fed. You're giving all your organs what they need.
Right. We live
and this right here is the way that these organs are going to be fed. And to make sure that that heart is eating right, that kidney, that liver. So you have to be very responsible with yourself as to what is coming in through here. But we eat not only through here, but we eat through here with our eyes.
True. My grandmother used to always say, your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's true.
And the thing
Wise
is,
words.
The thing is that we live in a culture, though, where eating is now a form of entertainment. It's a way that we entertain ourselves. It's not.
It's social. It's yes. It's a social event.
Right. It's
that
no longer
correct. But you can have social events and drink juices, and people say, why juicing? I have an issue with greens. I said, well, then definitely juicing, because 1 16-ounce cup of a good healthy juice, if it's a green juice, if it's a beet juice, whatever, will have the same nutritional value that if you ate 3 or 4 plates of that particular leafy green. Why? Because when we juice, our body doesn't have to go through the breaking of it.
Right.
The digestional acid of breaking it down, and then whatever is left is what goes into your system. So I tell people, when you drink it, when you juice it, it's like an IV. It's going directly into your bloodstream.
So one last question, Doctor. You're gonna have to jump in here, because when you have this mind in front of you, you just want to sit here and just. But
I'm enjoying it, man. I'm soaking up.
It's just that we've had this conversation, him and I, so he's not in his head, because we've been talking for 3 years.
Typically, again, everybody's different, but typically, how much juicing versus solid food do you recommend?
Well, I say juicing is a complement. Juicing is not to replace eating. We must eat. Our body requires us to eat. But since we live such a hectic life, I have people that will skip breakfast, will skip lunch. They're not eating. So by juicing for breakfast, juicing for lunch, it's easier. They grab the gallon, they pour my juice, they're getting all the medicine, the nutritional value, everything they need. They're drinking it, and they're getting energy, and their body is getting restored. But I tell them, do not make juicing the only thing you do. You have to feed your body as well. It's not to take the place of food.
Awesome. So, and one last question. I promise this is the last one.
No problem.
Someone like me who's had serious heart attack. You hear different schools of thought, and obviously I've done my research. So the question is more for the listeners, but I want it to come from someone else. Can you come back completely from that?
Yes.
Okay.
I truly believe you can. That is my humble opinion. Yes.
Yes. I came to the same conclusion, but it definitely requires a level of discipline, a level of education and understanding. You have to develop new habits of thought, because it's not one thing.
Mind, body, and spirit.
There you go.
Mind, body, and spirit. Can you come back? Yes. You're able to come back. You're capable, but you have to want to. You have to be dedicated. You can't change your lifestyle of eating, whether you're juicing, cutting out red meat, exercising for a month and 2 and expect amazing results. No, it's going to have to be a life change. a life change, because it took you how many years to get to the point where your heart said, that's it, bye, later. Right. Years of poor eating, stressful behaviors, long nights, years. And then finally, so if you expect it to be reversed within a few months to a year, that I don't see happening. But if you do put forth a lot of effort and decide to make a life change, yes, I truly think you can reverse in a lot of ways the damage. That's my opinion.
Hey, Maria, I'm not going to say one of your clients' names, but I don't know if you remember. It's probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. A gentleman, young African-American gentleman, came into the bar, and he and I and you had a long conversation, and he basically gave you and I both his testimony of working with you. He was in renal failure.
Complete renal failure.
He was in complete renal failure. Dr. Rick spurred this on me to let the listeners know this type of case study, that I would call it, from one of your clients, where, like I said, he was in complete renal failure, and he basically told you and I, over the course of probably about an hour conversation, the lifestyle changes that he had, and also not only that, the type of juices and your services that had helped him
recover.
Complete recovery, Dr. Rick. Complete recovery. I've also heard people in her juice bar come in and talk about how her services have helped them recover from cancer. Maria, can you talk about a little bit about that, and then we'll get out of here. But I want our listeners to be blessed by you and
thank you.
The type of services that you have, and that you know what you're doing. I've seen it, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because you are actually getting results, and you're changing the lives of people, including mine.
Well, I appreciate that, but I always say, I'm the instrument. I bring it to you, but I always give all the blessing and the props to nature, to what we have been blessed with. We just have to learn to take better care of it, but it's there. And on that particular gentleman that you're referring, yes, I know who it is. His testimonial is on my YouTube channel. He was very kind, and he shared his testimony. But this gentleman, young father, he works out and has always tried to be healthy, except the eating habit was the issue. The way he was eating, affected him. He was diagnosed with stage 3, going into stage 4 kidney failure. Okay. Now, when that took place, he had been dealing with that when he came to me for about, I want to say, 3 years already going, and dialysis was knocking on his door. Okay. Now, this is a young gentleman, small children, active, and that was very hard for him to even wrap his head around.
Absolutely.
Okay, because you will only do dialysis for a certain amount of years or time, depending on your body, as you know, until you get a kidney donor, which is not always the easiest to come by, or it depends on how your body reacts. But so it was very stressful for him. When he came to me, he works out on a regular and works out a lot. He really was trying to make all the right life changes. He came to me and he said, I can't tell you that I do any of this stuff. I don't even like greens. I don't like vegetables. I didn't eat them when I was a kid. I still don't. But I have this issue. He didn't really go at the time into how severe it was, just that was a concern of his. And he says, I'm willing to give this a try. So I sat with him. We spoke. I got an idea of the inflammation, the toxicity of the body, what his eating habits were. So I already got an idea. He was also telling me how he wanted to be able to focus. His mental clarity was being affected. It was almost like he felt like he was in a fog. Okay. And I started circulation. I said, if we have a kidney issue, it's because the kidney has forgotten that it's a kidney. So we're going to have to do some detoxing of the kidneys, get that kidney to start working the way a kidney was working before. And so I started with green juices, and he was consistent. That's the key, consistency. He didn't really like the greens, but he said, you know what, Maria, this is medicine. And I need to feel good. And I have to find another way other than the alternatives that they're giving me. I cannot accept that that's it. Mm-hmm. Well, long story. And like I said, you're welcome to YouTube. His whole testimonial is on there. He shared that himself. He goes,